Welcome to the bold analysis. Someone around State House should share this podcast with William Ruto's handlers. Kenya Kwanza's greatest enemy is not the political competitors, but the urban youth. And in this podcast, I want to reveal to you the details why there is a lot of hostility and the crowds are turning hostile on a host of Kenya Kwanza politicians. Let us go straight to Kabarnet. Kipchumba Murkomen, the Transport Cabinet Secretary who has been making news headlines for the last couple of days due to his altercation with Cherargei, the Ndii senator, attended an event in Kabarnet and he could not address the event, he could not address the attendants in that event who really heckled him off. Now, this comes a week after Chirchir was also booed in Bomet in an event that was attended by William Ruto himself. So you'll understand that Kenyans no longer have the chills. You know, Alfred Keter was saying, we're not going to give a damn. Kenyans don't have the chills. And people are showing their frustration. They're venting their frustration, be it in front of the president or any other state officer. And I think in the next few days, Apambele, state officials will even stop appearing in public because of this public lynching. Just to know that things are hot, David Ndii just did a tweet, this tweet was done at 9, just tonight, and he's saying, 3 things I will not be party to, defend or take collective responsibility for. Number 1, lies and taking the public for fools. Number 2 is corruption. Number 3, vomiting on the people's shoes. This is coming, and lies and taking people for fools is what the political class, and especially the Kenya Kwanza team, have been doing. In fact, led by the president himself. He's been trying to, the president believes he has the monopoly to control the public narrative and will make twists and turns at his convenience. That is something he's always thought. But from what we are seeing, it is very different. So it tells you that things are not coming out very freely, are not coming out very friendly. Now, William Ruto today attended an event, second Nairobi church service, attended by the president after the Gureti. He was in Kahawa West. And I followed partly that event. But after that, he held some impromptu rally outside, just around the area. I wanted to listen to, first, look at the size of the crowd, and number 2, listen to what is the good Kenyans are saying in the background. Ameniambia vile vile kuna mambo ya Kamai, si ndio? Hiyo mambo ya Kamai nimemwambia tayari, tumepanga, tunakamilisha, tunaondoa wale mabwenyenye wanaosema wao ni maskota. Ili maskota wapate shamba yao hapo Kamai. Hapa Nairobi tunataka watoto wetu wote hapa Nairobi waende shule. Na wiki hii mimi nimepitia hapa na ninarudi hapa tena kwa sababu tuko na mpango ya affordable housing na mimi nahitaji hao vijana waanze kufanya tunahitaji engineer, tunahitaji mason, tunahitaji plumber, tunahitaji electrician, hapa watu wa mkono tunahitaji. Hapana,
Unajua huyu Kamande? Pia hapa tuko na ndugu yetu. Tunataka watoto wetu wote hapa Nairobi waende shule. Na wiki hii tumetoa pesa karibu milioni 1 ya kuhakikisha kwamba tunajenga madarasa zaidi hapa Nairobi County. Tunakubaliana na hao wabunge wenu. Lazima tujenge mashule mengine madarasa mengine 3,500 hapa Nairobi County. Watoto wetu wote wapate nafasi ya kusoma. Tumeelewana?
It's high time that the leadership embraces two-way communication. You know, political rallies is normally one way, where it is the speaker, what the speaker says is what is supposed to be. But then, people are simply showing that what you're telling us is, we don't want to hear all that. What we want to hear is about this and that. And so, it actually shows you that things are not so good. Now, if you want to know, and I want to tell you, if you want to know that William Ruto has a lot of spark, and he has a lot of spark. I have studied some speeches. Do you know that he has very lengthy speeches? By the way, very lengthy speeches. If you listen to the Start of the Nation, almost 1 hour. Even when I was attending that European 1 hour, almost 40 minutes. And he revolves around fertilizer and UNHCR and the Universal Health Carrier, this one of giving health promoters some stipend, supporting them. And the whole discussion about economy is revolving around fertilizer. But, you know, the discussion about fertilizer do not sell in the urban. For example, the fertilizer subsidy is not an urban economy. Let's say the truth. Yes, it's true that farming is feeding those who are in urban centers. But you cannot attend a church service in Sekuru, in Umoja, in Kibera, and tell people about fertilizer. It doesn't have the spark. So clearly, there is something that the urban youth is not taking. And William Ruto has revolves around 2022 elections. I have sampled these two. One is in Bomet, and today, just get to listen to these two speeches. It's revolving around the 2022 elections because he believes that exhausts the crowd.
Na uchaguzi ambao mwaka uliopita ulikuwa ni wa aina ya kipekee. Mambo matatu yalitokea katika hiyo uchaguzi. Mambo ya kwanza, katika hiyo uchaguzi wa Kenya walikataa mambo ya ukabila na wakapiga kura bila ya misingi ya ukabila. Jambo la pili, Wakenya walipiga kura kwa njia ya amani. Hiyo amani Askofu Ngetich ametuambia hapa. Tukawa ni taifa ambayo tumefanya uchaguzi na tumefanya kazi hiyo kwa njia ya amani. Na jambo la tatu katika hiyo uchaguzi ni kwamba ilidhihirika wazi ya kwamba sio deep state, sio system, sio machinery ndio inachagua viongozi Kenya. Ni Mungu na wananchi. Ni kweli ama si kweli? Si kulikuwa na mambo mengi ilikuwa inaendelea, watu walikuwa wanaambiwa itaenda hivi, itaenda vile, itakaa hivi. Lakini vile Mungu aliamua ndivyo ilivyokuwa.
Tulifanya ilikuwa ni uchaguzi wa aina ya kipekee. Mambo matatu muhimu yalifanyika katika hiyo uchaguzi. Ya kwanza, Mungu alitusaidia tukafanya uchaguzi ambayo ilimaliza ukabila katika taifa letu la Kenya. Mungu akatusaidia tukafanya uchaguzi ikawa ni uchaguzi wa amani ajabu katika taifa letu la Kenya. Na Mungu akatusaidia tukafanya uchaguzi ikajulikana Kenya ya kwamba viongozi wanachaguliwa na Mungu na wananchi. Mimi najua mnakumbuka wakati huo mandugu zetu wengine walikuwa wanatuambia yule wa muhimu sio wa kupiga kura, yule wa muhimu ni wa kuhesabu. Walituambia ati kuna kitu inaitwa deep state na system sijui na nini, hata mfanya vile mtafanya kura itaenda vile tunataka. Lakini Mungu ni nani?
So he does that. The deep state politics and the narratives is done because he believes that excites the crowd. Since the politics of the economy is no longer selling. So you need to do to characterization of Uhuru, Raila, this and that. That's for him gives him some fodder to say something. I want to tell you 4 attributes just from what I have realized on these heckling incidences. The 4 reasons why urban youth is suffering and is coming out as a very thorny constituent to William Ruto. Number 1, the urban youth is well informed and actually have access to information through the smartphone. The access to information of the urban youth is higher compared even to the rural youth. Why? These are the people that are detecting that William Ruto is lying, or many instances. These are the people that are detecting because they are savvy. You know, internet never lies. They can Google, even if you want to know what Ruto promised, you can just go and Google. This is the TikTok generation. You'll see how many, you see the TikTok, people in TikTok sharing, you know, someone even in a car coming and saying, Ruto did this, Ruto did this. This generation is very bold and this generation is out. Now, these people are the ones that are showing you and Ruto, you are getting it wrong. Number 2, the urban voter, I think let me say the urban voter, let me not even call the urban youth. The urban voter is worst hit by the taxation in all sectors. Starting from, and let's just take a typical voter from Kibera, someone who works in some Jengo structure, in some Jengo, in Jengo. For him to go and work, maybe he needs to commute using the public transport. So if there is, when the fuel is high, the fare is hiked. He's already been hurt there. When he arrives at that place, he needs to work, and at one point goes to eat. When he goes for eating just the midday, just for the lunch, or even those working in town, let's just take typically those working in town. When they go food, because their VAT on some of these commodities and the prices are high, the cost of food is high. Now the taxable, the disposable income for this person is just reducing. Let him commute back home, or at one point even the ID is lost. If he wants to renew, there is a hike. This is the same person that is supposed to pay some university and college fees for his children, where the disposable income is low. Things are not working out, and in fact it's very real. I'm not saying those in the rural setups are not feeling the pinch. But let's say the truth, those living in town centers are feeling the pinch harder. When there is all this inflation is going on, even the landlords are masquerading with some very sneaky costs that are hiking the rent. Who is paying rent? The urban voter. So we need to say the truth that I know that the rural voter is also suffering, but this man is under siege. Number 3, this is the voter whose hopes were raised highest during the last election, and the reason being because he was deemed as the person that was supposed to be convinced. So there is something I keep on wondering, and even when I'm having chit chat and talking in corridors with people within my circle, I keep on asking that what happened that William Ruto is sporadically or rapidly losing the spark just 1 year after office. And if this is 1 year, this is first budget. How will it be by the year 2027? How will it be by 2026? Because this is just 1 year. Even Uhuru Kenyatta came into power in a populist platform, the 2013, the digital, and I think it was we are digital and old generation. There was something like that. Sisi the digital. They did that. There was also another populist narrative on the Hague, on the ICC, and the thing went. Even though after that transition, Uhuru never lost the spark that early, that easy. But Ruto is shedding that popularity too fast and too early. Why? That is what I would simply want to answer in this. This is what I'm saying. They hired crowds. The crowds we hired in the political rallies, we paid them. So people attended those rallies, and despite of all that messaging, after Kenya Kwanza got into power, we forgot about those crowds. And I want to say this with a lot of conviction, because in my last year I attended and did a video, an expose in this podcast, people in this channel. Those people who are earlier here by last year may know. I attended, I think that was Kamkunji, and I showed you guys how people were ferried through buses and, and the way they arrived and how they positioned. I did a very concrete analysis on that. So immediately they milled around the convoy. There was a lot of messaging, they were paid, and it was a paid loyalty. It simply means that the Kenya Kwanza administration was never built on a strong ideology. You can't even compare how Ruto is listening than Uhuru. Uhuru lost the public to the last, just the tail end of his power. That's when the crowds went down. But before that, even the first time Uhuru had the spark. And is back. Number two. It is an indication that Kenyans are not buying the patience message being hawked in these streets. Politicians have mastered the art of asking Kenyans that kindly be patient with President Ruto. They have been saying it. They've been asking Kenyans to be patient. But the way this is happening, Kenyans are not buying that message. Why? It doesn't require any magic. They're not seeing the essence of being patient because there is no hope of a better tomorrow. There is no way you can shout and convince Kenyans, even a toddler, that I am in a hole, and they're saying it very beautiful words. When in a hole, when you realize you're in the hole, you stop digging and find a way you get out. To mean we're in the debt hole. So primarily we should stop borrowing and figure out. Kenyans are not buying it because the same information as the politician is saying that while on top of some car or attending a church service, he leaves this country and goes to Europe, and information comes out of a loan facility. Ruto has been saying that, but he went to Germany the other day, and what he brought back is a 1.8 trillion loan facility that is going to be spread within 3 years. When we have been saying that we're in these problems because of loans. So let's collect more taxes so that we reduce these loans, and by the time we are off the loan burden, we'll be well off. But at the end of the day, we're still borrowing. So Kenyans are not buying it for simply one reason, that the political class is not putting their words into action. It's as simple as that. People are not taking it. I see the other possibility why Ruto is facing this much of hostility is service delivery flaws against the exorbitant taxation. I told you that, and I want to explain this point by telling you, reminding what I said earlier, that Ruto's worst enemy is the urban youth. And the urban youth saw a leaking roof in JKA. You know, the urban roof saw Rigathi Gachagua trying to wink the governors by saying that he gave 10 billion for floods mitigation, only for governors to come and say they never received even a shilling from the Rigathi Gachagua-led emergency response unit, emergency response team. So people saw those things. While Kenyans died because of this, people died because of these floods, there is a lot of challenges on service delivery. Just today I was heading to Kigiri. So for those who know that route, on your way, I think Ngara, you take the Ngara route heading, negotiate a corner heading to Gigiri. There is some construction, some road repair maintenance going on there. And then there is a signboard written there, your fuel levy at work. You know, I looked at that message and I was like, now someone wants to tell us that fuel levy is at work. You know, okay, fine. It's targeting the people that supply that route because most of them are, I think, high class, if I'm not wrong. So that message maybe will sync with them. Now, despite of this taxation, the huge taxation regime, it is not commensurate in terms of the service delivery is not commensurate. It's people are not seeing the classic service delivery that probably would be expected with such an activation. Number 3, the attempt to do UDA activation and try to buy all to defect for the all opposition MPs and opposition leaders to defect to government did not, or rather did not change the ground. And we said this, that you will spend money and buy a host of politicians, even recycle those ones that let alone those who failed and give them state parastatals and all that. You will try to win everyone by your side. And of course, win the big boys up there. But if you don't deliver, Kenyans will not care. And Kenyans don't care. Yes. Even if, and it also shows, one of the reasons I told you, and I will repeat here unapologetically, there was nothing like UD elections that was being organized in December. What was being done was just to activate the UDA party so that they will have some party patronage, so that people will start worshipping UDA and create a euphoria that, you know, we are members of UDA and have a sense of belonging. And with that, maybe they will not question Kenya Kwanza and will continue the present worship songs on President Ruto. Something is amiss. And if the political class are not going to put their house in order, Kenya Kwanza are not going to put their house in order and maintain, unless Ruto steals elections. Without that, 2027 is not going to be an easy ride. Think about US. Trump lost. He did one term and went. Yes. And as against this praise of Ruto is a super politician, Israel is a groundmaster, for me, I don't buy it. Because Kenyans are not looking for the best orator. Kenyans are not looking for the best public speaker. Kenyans are looking for the person that will fix Kenya. And it will reach a point of, it's not about your competitor, it's about you. Not that we want Raila or we want Kalonzo, but it's just like we don't want you. It will all narrow down to the fact that you have failed. You know, people forget and people think that even if I fail, I don't have a competitor. No. You can fail until people now are saying, let's try the other person. Not because we like him, but because you are wrong. Just the same thing as what was done against Uhuru Kenyatta. The message was not that Uhuru is wrong, but we just want to try Ruto. It is the same platform and it's the same narrative that can say. Thank you. Let's meet in the next.